and see how far we could be able to go. All right. So I'm going to be sharing my screen because of the limited access to resources like power. I'll be just on point, and I will use less time. Okay, I will not spend any minute because of the limited resources. All right, because of the limited resources that I do not control. So I'll just get on point, and then so yesterday we talked about the bullish divergence, and we said how you identify the bullish divergence. You basically find a coin that's on a downtrend, and we said that when you find a coin that is on a downtrend, you draw a red line on the price of selective lower lows, of consecutive lower lows, and a green line on the RSI indicator. Okay, so that is what we discussed yesterday. We said a green line on the RSI indicator on consecutive higher lows. And we said that you connect that and that, that and that, that and that. And once you see the RSI forming a higher low, you connect those higher lows together. And what we find in between, as you can see, the price started moving up after the divergence was formed. So that is the divergence. When the bullish divergence is spotted, you can do two things. One, you can close your short position if you are trading futures or margin trades, and you go long. It means you enter that particular trade. So I want to go a little bit practical by going into our trading view, and we said I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off all these other indicators. Okay, so this is our screen. It is plain. First, we said we shall find a coin on a downtrend. So I will just go down. Hey, I thought things had changed. Eh? So I'm looking for a coin that is on a downtrend by current price. All right, so let's continue. Sorry for that. Okay, so we move. So I'll share my screen again. Someone has called me very tough. I'm not answerable to anyone, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has called me on one of my numbers when I'm trying to figure out a way to come here, and it's very tough on me. I'm not answerable to anyone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very sorry. I'm not answerable to anyone because no one is allowed, by the way. Me, I'll just be open. Nobody is allowed to call me very tough. You better talk to me in a nice way. I'm not employed by anyone here. It really it annoys me. Me, I don't control what happens when it deals with electricity, network issues. I don't control anything. So nobody is allowed to call me and talk to me in a tough way because none of you pays me here to be here. None of you gets my long night hours to find what to teach you and what to discuss with you. So nobody is allowed, by the way. I'm not employed by anyone here. Me deciding to take Royal Q serious and teach you this is my personal decision. So nobody employs me here. Nobody is allowed to talk to me in a rude way. I don't control network. I don't control electricity. Those issues are non-controllable. And I come here with my free heart willingly every single day. If you have just joined me, I've been here for the last 2.5 years. I've been doing this for the close to over 1.5. So if you have just joined and you have my number, please don't deal with me in a rude way. Nobody pays me. Me, I can end this program and nobody will tell me why have you ended it. So please don't come to me in that manner. Me, I'm not employable. And one of the reasons why I don't look for jobs is I don't like orders from above. So if you are the above, please, I'm very sorry. Please, if a factor is not controllable, I understand. It's not a controllable factor. If it is a controllable factor, I can understand. Okay, so let's go. Those are small issues. I know that usually small-minded people would usually disturb research. But let's go. I finally figured out my way. I hope this will work out. So we said yesterday, we looked at the divergences, and we say the divergence is very important when you are doing your technical analysis. And we talked about the bullish divergence. So we said you need to find just a few steps. Let me just go through these steps very fast, and then we go in the charts. Okay, so let me just start from step one. So step one, step two, step three, then we go into trend. A series of consecutive lower lows. Okay. First, we want to detect. First, we want to detect. If I'm loud and clear, give me one in the chat because I've connected somewhere. But I'm not sure. It is just a rubber dubber style. But if you can hear me, give me one in the chat. It's just a rubber dubber style, but I don't know whether I will manage. But I think there is a way I've connected somewhere, but I believe it might work out. So, like I've said, find a downtrend. Okay, for the bullish divergence, we'll be watching a market that's on a downtrend. We do not necessarily want a downtrend that is going for a long time. Okay, since it is a divergence, it can also be found in a sideways market or a ranging market. Okay, but we are just looking for series of lower lows, as simple as that. Here is an example. We find series of lower lows. That is 1, 2. We watch the RSI at price lows. Now that we have spotted the price lows, we want to see what the RSI indicator is showing us. Okay, the RSI indicator. What's the RSI indicator showing us? And we are also going to look for those points of the RSI and connect them. So connect, simple, draw. We just need to draw lines, okay? Each line on a trend line and connect two consecutive lows. We do both on the price of the lows and on the RSI lows. You can use two different colors, a red line at a point pointing down and a green line at a point pointing up. So a red line when the point is pointing down and a green line when the point is pointing up. As simple as that, okay? So 4, find a divergence that has a different color, okay? So you see the divergence has been found in that area, okay? And we said, what do you, after finding after you have done that, if it is, it's a downtrend, it is a short, you move out. If it is a long, you could go under trend. So now, what we want to do now, we now want to go to trading view. If you can see my trading view, give me one in the chat. If you can see my trading view, give me one in the chat. Okay. All right. So I'll just take this as an example on Pepe in 30 minutes. I'll take Pepe in 1 hour. And I'll come here. And pick a trend line. And I'll connect this point here to this one here. I just need to work on the color. Let me work on the color. Let me make it a little bit visible. And, let me work on the color and I'll make it a red one. So I'll connect those lower points together. Get the color. All right, good. Okay, so I'll go back and pick another trend line. And I connect this point to that point. There. So after you have done all this, you now come here on indicators. And you write in RSI. There are so many. The relative divergence indicator. This will be, now when you use this, I just need to clear off the air. The indicator here will always show you, I'll talk about this indicator. This will show you the divergence. But we are not here to give you an indicator that will show you the divergence. Okay, we are now going to use our normal indicator to find the divergence ourselves. When we get to those indicators that are good, so we shall now write in the RSI, which could be the stochastic RSI, but not the relative strength index. So we could take this, and then we want to discover the divergences by ourselves, not to find to use the indicator to give us the divergence. So so now we are also going to connect. We are going to bring our trend line and bring our trend line, and we are going to connect this to this. And we are also going to connect. We are going to bring our trend line and connect this to this. And according to our discussion, we said that when you discover one that changes, you turn it to green. And we see that from here to here, this one, it was continuing moving down, but from here to here, we can see the divergence. Give me one in the chat if you can now see the divergence. Give me one in the chat if you can see the divergence. We drew from this point to this point. Okay, we're connecting the new nearby consecutive lower lows, this lowest point to this lowest point. But when you reach this lowest point and we connected it to this one, we see it was changing. So, and we said that in most cases, whenever it changes, then this here, we could see that the market moved up. And we said that once you see the divergence, because now a divergence is here, this is where now you plan to make your entry and plan your exit. And remember, just to remind you about the tier. Remember, just remind you about the tier. We discussed and said that if you want to trade using the tier strategy, the tier strategy involves in defining the trend of the market. You definitely have drawn just at the close of these candles, a line there at your lowest point. Okay, let me turn it to a line so that someone who's not understanding what I'm dealing with could understand. So I'll draw a line at this lowest point, and I'll draw my upper line, my horizontal line at this highest point here. Okay, and basically after the divergence, and then I would look at the highest point. So if this is the lowest point, the previous highest point, this was the previous highest point, all right? So I also draw my line above, so I will have created my support and resistance respectively. So you could see that this could be where the divergence is found. And maybe if I make my entry at around this point, then I come down here, I pick my price range. Okay, my price range, I'll just take this one for date. Maybe I entered from here. I'll take my profit after divergence, say either there, okay, or either up to here. Okay, this will just show me bars. So let me just delete it. Let me first move this thing up somewhere. Okay, so I will come and pick my price range on measurement, pick my price range. Maybe I entered from around here, around this area here. Okay, just having drawn my good support and resistance. I'm using the divergence. So here I will take a 4%, but if I would go back to the other high, I will take a 9%. I have a question. Is it possible to use divergences to trade? Some answers in the chat. Is it possible to use divergences to trade? Some answers in the chat. Is it possible to use divergences to trade? Participate, either say a yes or say a no. Okay, either say a yes or say a no. Okay, either say a yes or someone is saying I came late. Now, for the latecomers, I don't know how to deal with you because basically, me, I went off. If you were typing a no and you are new, now there are two kinds of people. It's your first time to come here, and when I'm doing all these steps, you don't understand anything. Or you have been here for some time. When you type a no, you can say, I've been here for some time, I don't understand. But if you have been here for the last 2 months and more, you might be able to get what I'm trying to talk about. Okay? So still on drawing divergences, like I've said, you find two consecutive laws. Look at this chart. Let me turn it to even if it's a line. So I will get my trend line, two consecutive lows. I connect from this lowest point, and here I will use the red color in my connection. Connection one done. So I will come again, pick my trend line, connect this consecutive low, this one to this one. I'm looking for a divergence. Okay, so now I've finished on the chart. So I want to go and draw a divergence on the stochastic RSI. So I'm not around. I'm not even sharing my screen. I'm busy there talking. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen now? I was busy talking alone. Can you see my screen now? I'm gonna repeat. All right. Okay. You see my screen? Good. All right. Sorry for that. Okay, so this is my chart. We are looking at divergences. Okay, and let me repeat my topic again. We have changed our chart to a line. Okay, we don't need exactly a downward. For example, this is flocky. Network is becoming a very big problem. If in your country you have good network, give me the name of that country. If you have good network, me, I can shift. I go to that country. I'm tired. I'm tired. I've done everything. So give me a name of that country that has good network. I don't mention Uganda. Don't mention Uganda. Come to some. Don't mention Uganda. If you are talking about Uganda, I'm going to change. I'm going to change and I go to another because I'm tired. By the time you are starting, the network is on. By the time you are in the middle, the network has gone. They charge us a lot of money, but they don't do what they are supposed to do. They are just noisemakers. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, but we move. No matter what, we must make things happen. So we are talking about divergences, okay, and we are talking about divergences on a downward trend. So we discover the trend of the market. Find a market that is forming continuous lower lows. This is not clear a little bit. So I'll change from Floki to Pepe. Let me do Pepe, guys, just for better understanding. Can we all see that there is a point here? Okay, there's a point. Can we see this is the lowest point? And this is another lowest point. Wow, electricity is back. Ah, what a country. So now we change. I must finish. But will this electricity take a long time? Okay. But let's first continue. I'll sort this out later. But a little bit promising now. A little bit promising, guys. A little bit promising. Let me try to. Okay. So let's learn, although today we have been disturbed a lot. So we see that this is the lowest point. Okay, so you go and tap on this lowest point and connect it to this lowest point. Is that doable? So you change the color to red for identification. Is that doable? Is that doable? You connect a lower point to another lower point. Is that doable? Some answers in the chat. Someone says my screen is not visible. Is my screen visible? I'm not maximizing it because is my screen visible? Okay. Is my presentation clear? Because someone said my presentation is not clear. You connect this lowest point, this lowest point. Okay. Right. Now we come again, get a trend line, connect this lowest point. Can we see it is still lowest point here? Is that doable? Let me know in the chat. Can you connect two consecutive or three consecutive lowest points? Is that doable? Once again, God, you can also see if someone is on this call and this thing is doable. these are not adding up at all. Okay, so can you see? So you connect. Someone is saying, why? Could you repeat your question? Why is the line stopping in the middle? Why is the line? Someone saying, why is the line stopping where? Could you come again with your question? Hey, network. Why are lines stopping in the middle? What do you mean? I don't get you. We are connecting lowest points. Okay. Please pay close attention. I'm connecting this point to this point, this point to this point. Is that clear? Yes, I'm lost again. Here I'm in the meeting. Okay, I'm back. And you see connection of this lowest point to this lowest point, and connection of this lowest point to this lowest point. Give me one in the chat if you can understand that. So the same thing you have done of connecting this lowest point to this lowest point, you're also going to do it the same when it comes to the stochastic RSI. Okay, so you come here, pick your trend line, connect this lowest point to a consecutive lowest point, like this. Then after, you are going to look for a point, like you see now, from this lowest point, you can see that instead of this stochastic RSI going lower, it forms a higher point. Give me a clue if you can see that. So we are going to connect this point to this point. So we come here, pick our trend line, then press it at this lowest point and stretch it to this point. Can you see? So we change this one in color of green. Why? Instead of it continuing going down, it now moves up. And this is what we call a divergence. So let's identify our divergence with vertical lines. Okay, so we draw our vertical line here. Okay, and we draw another vertical line. And this that we have drawn here is what we call a divergence. Give me one in the chat if you have understood the bullish divergence. Give me a yes or a one in the chat if you have understood how you locate or how you find a bullish divergence. And so, if you were trading in feature trading or in margin trading, you know what you are going to do. You are going to sell to end your trade. If you are trading in spot like we do, you are now going to plan to enter that particular trade. Okay? And we say by trying to enter that particular trade, you need to find what we call execution points. And we say the execution points are found when you draw support and resistance. Could you see maybe you join from here to here? Or still, if we pull our market together, can we see, this was our lowest point and this was our highest point. And we could see if we pick our price range, then we press it to where we entered from. Let me say you entered from around here. And we go to the highest point where our major resistance was. This is an 8%. Okay? So let me look at Floki by current price. So we are now going to go to the bearish divergence, and because there has been network issues, so today I will not be able to end in time. So I will eat more of your time. Okay, I'll eat more of your time. If you are tired, today I'm not requesting. If you are tired, just move off the Zoom. So now let me go to the second type of divergence, and I will now look at the bearish divergence. So how do we find the bearish divergence? How do we find to say that this coin is now going to go down? One, find an uptrend. Find an uptrend, a series of consecutive higher highs. Here we want to watch an uptrend because we are looking for a chance of a bearish move. A series of consecutive higher highs is what we need to find the divergence. We do not need to find a long-term uptrend with dozens of higher highs. Just a couple is enough. Just find somewhere. Okay, so can you see higher highs? Find consecutive higher highs. Do you see the market forming? This is a higher high, then a higher high, then a higher high. Consecutive highest points, all right? Now watch the RSI at those prices. Now we want to check the RSI indicator is doing in these higher highs. We go on and mark these peak points of the higher highs. And that we find the price. So here we go. Can we see? Watch the RSI. Can you see the RSI forming this high and this one? And then this one? Okay? All right. Now we connect the highs. Now we connect the highs that we have found. We just need to connect the highs of the price. Then we connect some highs of the RSI indicator. We use different colors to visualize better highs and lowers, and we connect. Can we see, guys? This high to this one, this high to this one. Okay? All right. So we also do the same, this high to this high, then this high to this high. So this is the divergence. Give me a 2 in the chat if you have seen it. So this is the divergence. Give me a 2 in the chat if you have seen that. So that's the divergence, guys. So find the divergence with different colors. Finally, we check into NA sessions of different color. There will be a divergence. And just found a divergence with the green line in the price and the red line in the RSI indicator. Look at what happened. The price made a bear move after the divergence. And if we go down here, do you see, guys? So this is the divergence on the RSI. And we see now the market made a down movement. Okay? Now let's go to our market and look for a divergence. So I'll just change this to coins that are pumping. But this one is over pumping. This one. This one is over pumping. It looks to be a sister to Namukwaya. This one looks to be a sister to Namukwaya. Will I get a divergence here? I don't think, guys, I'll get a net divergence here. Yeah, this is not my category. Like that. The way the thing is going in the air. Now, who chased you away from down? Who chased you out? You see some coins, they can go very. Okay, this is learning purposes, guys. So I'm just looking for a divergence. Okay. I'm just looking for divergence. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's not easy, but I will find it. Okay, guys. All right. Okay. Could you see my screen? I'm trying to widen it now. Can you see my screen now? I'm not going with current price. I'm just finding an example. Are we clear? So let's start from here. Okay, let's start from here. We are going to pick our trend line. And we are going to connect this high to this high. I'll change it to red. Okay. Then we are going to connect this one, this high here, to that one. So we do the same here. We connect this high to this one. Which line is this one now? This one can blow. Go away. I don't know which one I picked. I picked a red. So we move from this high to this high. Okay, and then we pick this high, this high. Okay. And then from here, and we see now things changed. And you see that from here, it came down back here. Although this is not a perfect example. It's not a very perfect example. This one is not a very good example. It is not a good teaching example. But the most important thing is to make sure that everybody understands. But if you look here, you can see there is a little change in the structure, although it is not the best example. Give me one in the chat if you are trying to understand. I may spend the whole day looking for an example. But my main point is to make sure that you understand. Okay. My main point is make sure that you understand. I might spend the whole day looking for a best example. But my main point is to make sure you understand, all right? So we are going to move very fast because I just want to conclude this topic so that tomorrow I start on something different. But like I've explained, let me just pull back my explanation. Like I've explained up here, you just need to find that point that when you connect the relative strength index, you see, like I was trying, if it moves from here, now from here, it now forms a lower point, lower than the high that you had, and that is where the divergence is found. Okay, so triggers to trade RSI, point one, the pullback after the divergence. This method, we want to wait for the pullback after the second point of the divergence is formed. In this case, you are wondering, a pullback is just a small move against the trend. So let's look at the bearish divergence scenario. The key is to wait. The key here is to wait for a failed pullback to the upside. As the prices fall to continue, I'm just going to use an example. Our trigger price to short, but I don't want to teach shorts. Okay, our entry can be any kind of rejection pattern like a pin bar or an engulfing pattern to close our trade and wait. I just want to teach all this, but let me just, because now these things. So maybe this was your divergence discovered. The stop loss above the pullback, your entry point at the break of the last candle, and form new lows. So this is, I'll get to this later. But I don't want to teach this now. I don't want to teach this now, but I think my point is at home. My point, I think, is home. I just want to teach the bulls, the appearance of the market to move up. So, like I said, when you draw you find the divergence. That's my most important part. You find the divergence. Make sure your divergence is you are using execution points, okay, of higher highs, right? So this is a divergence. You enter. You see, when you see a bullish engulfing candlestick chart pattern or a pin bar, wait for the bullish engulfing to get a pullback. I don't know if my message is clear. We are going to be seeing other indicators we can use, but wait for a pullback. So, for example, like we are going to see things like the moving averages, the Fibonacci, but wait for the market to calm down a little bit. Don't just get excited. So here you get a pullback. Then after the pullback, you see the pullback after candles closing above this moving average, then someone made an entry. But we're going to be able to look at that later. So let's just do a simple recap. An RSI divergence is a chart pattern that formed when the price trend doesn't sink or move in the same trend like the RSI indicator. For the bullish divergence, we want to see the price making lower lows while the RSI is making higher lows. For the bearish divergence, we want to see the price making higher highs while the RSI is making lower lows. When we find a divergence, we expect the market to change. We can use divergences to open trades and close trades. Thank you so much for joining our call for these 2 days. For you to understand that, and starting tomorrow, now I'm gonna switch into the moving averages, and we see how we can add the moving averages in our chart, determine the trend, and also use the divergence that happens on the RSI to be able to continue to be winning. If there are any questions, they are welcome now about this. If you have some questions, they are welcome now about this. It's also recorded on the Crypto Ambassador YouTube channel. I don't have the slides. If you want the slide, I don't have the slide. I'm using a certain software, so there's no way I can provide this for you. How do I get it on YouTube? Go to the Crypto Ambassador YouTube channel. The main goal is to make sure that you could see lowest points on the RSI. If it changes, there you form your divergence. Okay. So support and resistance could still help you get out of that specific trade. All right. So I hope that marks the we are looking for divergence to find change of the market structure. Whether the market is going to continue going up or whether the market is going to continue going down. Change of market direction, in short, if you do not understand what I'm talking about. All right. It seems questions are clear. It seems questions are clear. It seems questions are clear. If no other question, I would love